Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today is updated planner lineup day and I am so excited to show you guys what I'm going to be using for the second half of 2020. If you've watched my recent videos, you know that I went back and forth about what planners I was going to use. Then I thought I had settled. Then the world blew up all over again, or at least the planner community did, for a good reason, and I had to reevaluate again. I am excited to tell you that I have settled on what my planner lineup is going to be for the second half of 2020, and there are some pretty significant changes to it, as well as some additions, which I'm excited about. I am actually going to be using 6 planners for the second half of the year, but I hope that you will see why once we get into each of them. So let's jump right in, shall we? Okay, so I wanted to start with the only one that isn't changing in one way or another, and that is my daughter's memory keeper. This is a Michael's Recollections planner. I've been using it since January. I'm going to complete the year. I do wish I had bought an 18-month planner last year and just ripped out the first 6 months, because I don't honestly know if this is going to turn on the rings once the year is done, but we are in it. We are half done, and I am sticking with it. It's working perfectly. So this one, not changing at all. Okay, my Hobo. This one's staying in the lineup as well, but I'm going to be using it for a different purpose. For the first half of the year, I was using it as an on-the-go planner, and I was also using it to track my magazine work and content. And while that worked for the first part of the year, as soon as isolation hit, it really wasn't necessary to have an on-the-go planner anymore. I'm not, I haven't gone anywhere in months, save for a few trips to the like the dollar store to pick up necessities, or the pharmacy, things like that. And even the magazine work is all being done remotely now. I don't have to schedule interviews, like in-person interviews with people. It's all being done remotely. So I don't really need an on-the-go planner at this time. And I don't anticipate needing one for the rest of this year either. So this planner is actually going to become sort of a life log. So I'm just going to use it to jot down little memories of things that happened throughout the week that I want to remember. So what we will be doing in here is minimalist weekly spreads. There won't be a lot of plans. If there's something like really big happening on a day, I may include it, because it'll be like a memory jog. When I come back to do a little bit of journaling, there'll be lots of room for writing, especially over here. And I am going to try to use more full page kits so that we can avoid the ridging that's happening here and here. So it's staying in the lineup. I'm still going to be using kits and decorating it each week. It's just going to be a little bit more minimalistic because I'm going to be using it for a different purpose. Hopefully it'll work out for what I want it to. You guys know me. If something isn't working, I'm fine changing it. If if I do even 1 week in here as sort of a life log and it doesn't work, then we will change it up and use it for something else. But that's the plan for the little Hobo for now. All right, next up I want to talk about my Catchall Planner. So this is a completely DIY'd planner. These are not Happy Planner discs. They are a different brand that I ordered. This is a DIY cover. I just put this quote on it for now. I will probably change the cover pretty frequently, if not every month, and for sure with the seasons. But this is going to be my Catchall Planner. So I have moved away from Erin Condren entirely. My plan had been to use an Erin Condren planner for all of this year. I really wanted to have a full year in one planner. It became very clear to me with the events of the past week that that was not going to be a good idea. And it also became clear that Erin Condren was not a company that I feel comfortable supporting or even want to support with what is going on, and how blatantly dismissive, for lack of a better term, she seems to be of the issues that are being brought to her attention. So I had ordered, I mentioned last week in some videos, I had ordered a new Erin Condren planner for 2021. It was set to ship on Thursday, the 18th. And that is when, I don't know if that's when the news sort of broke about what she had done, but that's when it came into my awareness. And literally the first thing I did was run to chat with their tech support and on their website and cancel that order. I am fully on board with people who have already purchased and received their planners continuing to use them. We spent good money on these. Company already has your money. I get it. I was able to cancel mine, so I was happy to do that. I'd like to spend that money somewhere else instead. What I do take issue with is anybody who continues to offer her free promotion. So I posted on my Instagram last week that I would be removing any reference to Erin Condren from my Instagram, Etsy, and YouTube channel in terms of like hashtags, affiliate codes. I don't even think I have an affiliate link in my YouTube description, but you know what I mean. Everything out. So I have to go back and I'm still working on that now. I also made it clear that I will no longer support companies that don't do the same. So, you know, I currently don't have any Erin Condren labeled kits in my store, but in the future, should I make a kit that would fit, you know, that size, the 7x9 planner, it will be called a standard vertical or 7x9 kit. I'm not going to offer her any free promotion anymore. So when it comes to my Catchall Planner, I had to do some quick thinking, and I decided actually that I might want to return to discs. It came down to discs or a ring-bound planner, and the ring-bound just doesn't work for me on a daily basis because you have to have it open and it takes up a lot of space. I need a planner that I can sort of turn over on itself and just have this showing. So I got to work on Friday and I made some new inserts, and I'm pretty excited about them. It's a big change from the Erin Condren. At first I was just going to do A5 wide weekly inserts because those fit all of the kits that I have, but I decided to do something kind of different. So what my planner spread is going to look like for the second half of this year is this. And I know this looks completely different and weird. Bear with me. I have a little bit of tweaking to do yet, mostly here, but in general, this is what it's going to look like. So this is a Dutch door kit. And so it's got the weekly spread where you can see the weekly overview at the top, but then a little sort of 2/3 page for each day. And the reason that I did that is that I really felt like I was needing a place to focus just for the day, but I need to be able to see that weekly overview as well so I know what is coming up. So here's what we're going to do. Up here is going to be important dates, appointments, and time-sensitive items. So anything that I need to be aware of as I'm planning on an individual day will be up here. Down here is going to be weekly filming checklists. So here I had actually added in like film, photos, edit, thumbnail, upload, and things like that. And then when I printed them, I realized I must have hidden, I don't know what I did. I deleted them. Anyway, I'm going to put those back in because those are helpful for me to have there. I've been using a modified version of this for the past couple weeks just for my videos, and it's been working really well. So I'm going to add that back in, but this will be my weekly filming checklists. And then on each day, there will be my detailed daily breakdown, my daily to-do list. So I'm not going to fill this out until each morning so I can set my intentions, and maybe the night before, we'll see. And then here will be, I'll use my deco boxes, like my full boxes if I'm using them, and then general plans for the day. So In here, there may be things like if I've, if I'm going to film or if I'm going to be printing and cutting, those would be here. Here would be more any plans that I need to do that are time specific. So there may be something up here that also ends up here. That's okay, because it's just about seeing the overall, I keep folding that over, the overall view, and then the daily breakdown. So there is one of these 2/3 sheets for each day of the week. Then over here we have a just a notes page, and then this is a similar page to the front page, but instead of videos, I'll use it for other work to do. So magazine, Etsy, things like that, that need to be done on that specific week. And then down here, I just put my morning routine tracker because that's something that has been important for me to track over the past few months. So I'm gonna leave it there and continue to track it. So big change. In some ways, I'm surprised that I'm going back to discs, but I think it makes sense for me to do that. And one of the reasons that I hadn't wanted to go back to discs was that even the mini Happy Planner discs are too big for me for like regular life. So I know that I'm not going to get like a full, I won't get a full year in here. I won't even get, by a month, it's going to be like pretty full. And that's okay. I will move things on and off the discs as I need to. And then once sort of the month is done, I'll move it off onto expander discs so I can keep it for, like for memories and sort of a record of life, if you will. So that is that. You will see as I go, I'll make a few little tweaks to this probably, but this is what you can expect to see, at least as we start the second half of the year, for my Catchall Planner. I should have mentioned as well, so this, I'll still be filming Plan With Me's for this planner, as well as for my daughter's memory keeper and the Hobo. The Hobo just, again, won't be like weekly plans. It'll be more of a life log, but I will still be planning and sharing those spreads. And same for this. You will see this each week on my channel. I am pretty excited about this. I've still got a ways to go to get it fully set up how I want it. But that's an exciting part about about new planners in the first half or second half of the year, when you get to sort of have a reset. So yeah, Catchall Planner right here. Now, I mentioned that the Happy Planner discs weren't great for me for Catchall. I am actually going to be using a Happy Planner again for the first time in 2 years, I want to say. I was using, at the beginning of this year and second half of last year, I was using a Happy Planner setup, but it was all DIY'd inside. This one is going to be partially DIY'd or partially Frankenplanned, but partially not. So this is what I'm going to use to track and plan my Etsy work and my magazine work. I still needed a spot, even though I'm not using the Hobo for the magazine anymore. I still needed a spot for the magazine work, and it made more sense to combine it with something else and put it all into one planner. And again, I need the ability to turn the pages over on themselves so that it doesn't take up so much space on the desk. And the Hobo doesn't stay open, so it's not practical in that sense. So I am going to be using this Happy Planner Skinny Classic Wrong Planner. I love this planner. I didn't think that I was going to like it as much as I do, but I think it's really, really pretty. I am, I'm firm where I stand when it comes to Erin Condren. I'm not as firm, to be honest with you, as about where I stand when it comes to the Happy Planner. I know that their first response to the Black Lives Matter movement and sort of uprising was very problematic. I have since heard Stephanie Fleming say that she just sort of explain what happened there, and that even though she's been considered sort of the face of the company, she didn't have tons to do with that. Now she's retiring. It's a whole thing. Anyway, I will wait to see what happens with the Happy Planner and the company and sort of the stance that they take. But this is one of those cases where I bought this planner weeks ago. I can't return it, and so I'm going to use what I have. So if we open up the planner, I have some notes in here as well. So this obviously is not a Happy Planner sheet. This is a DIY'd insert that I put in here. I'm actually still going to redesign this. I don't really love the look of it. This was just one that I purchased on Etsy and printed, but I'm going to make my own. But here I'm going to have at least 6 months worth of monthly spreads here at the front all together. And here's where I'm going to track my Etsy releases, any sales that I might be running, and then any announcements that I want to put up on Instagram. So that's what's going to be in here. Over here, so if we turn the page to July, on the back of the monthly tab, there is a notes page. This is going to be for the magazine. So this is going to be notes for the month, for the issue that my battery died without warning. So I apologize. I'm not sure where it cut me off. But essentially this page will be notes and content tracking. That should be enough space for me for the month. I also do have sort of a checklist on the computer that I, like a more detailed one, but I do like to see sort of at a glance what I'm working on and just notes for that. And then over here on this month on one page, I am going to just track my Etsy sort of daily sales and important stats and things like that, just to look for trends and see what's going on. All right, and then as we get into the weekly spreads, these are going to be spreads that are done with the magazine and Etsy info. So I may pre-plan a few weeks ahead in this planner. We'll have to see, maybe a month at a time, so that I can keep on track with what needs to be done each week, because this and what I'm going to use to track my YouTube content, which is actually going to be an insert in the Catchall, and I'll show you that. I'm going to do a setup video at the end of this week for the month of July, so I'll show you that then, and that is going to be this will sort of drive some of what goes into my Catchall and how I plan out my weeks. So I've never planned in a Skinny Classic before, so I am excited and a little nervous to do it. I am going to use, for this planner, I'm going to use a combination of Happy Planner stickers, because I do have a lot of Happy Planner sticker books that I am not using very much these days, and I want to use up my product. So I will use a combination of that and leftover kits from my Catchall, because I always have tons of leftover stickers, so I might as well put them to use. All right, so that is going to be Etsy and my magazine work. Okay, this one is not its final iteration, if you will. I am in the process of putting together a budgeting planner, and really what that means for me is a notebook, primarily a notebook that I can use my budgeting kits in to set up budgets and trackers for both mine and my husband's sort of family budget, and then for my business. So it will probably have some monthly spreads in it, but primarily it will be note pages with the various budget stickers and components on them. This is something I'm also going to film in one way or another. I don't think that my husband and I are comfortable sharing all of our income and expense information with the world just yet. Maybe never, I don't know. But I do want to show you at least the general setup for this. So I will be doing that at least once a month, and we'll see whether or not there is room to add other videos in over the course of the weeks, if we're doing tracking or check-ins or things like that. So this is not what it's going to look like. This is just sort of what I've been putting. I've just been putting some sheets in and some ideas. So I'm not going to show you the insides yet because it's not ready, but you can expect to see this one in my lineup as well in the second half of 2020. Okay, we're almost there. All right. This is both a new planner to me and a mostly new concept to me. I am going to be doing some memory keeping. So I began doing rewind and memory keeping spreads in April because there was nothing else to plan at the time. I enjoyed doing them. They're a lot of work. They require a lot of thinking throughout the week to make sure that I am, you know, keeping track of what's happened, how I spent my days, etc. I don't think this is something that I'm going to do every single week, and it may not be something that is on my YouTube channel very often, because it's probably something, if I feel like doing some memory keeping, that I'll do maybe quickly at the end of a day, or you know, maybe there'll be like a specific week that I want to memory keep, and I'll either just do it for myself, or maybe I will turn the camera on and maybe it will be just sort of a sped up version like some of my memory keeping videos have been lately. But I wanted to show you what I am using for that. So this is an A5 wide rings planner. It is not the Aura Estelle Cloud, as you might be able to tell. I had thought about purchasing one of those at the beginning of this year, or when they did their last pre-sale. I didn't because it was very expensive. Now that I think about it, it would have been probably less to order one of those and be able to use it for years than it would have been for what I was going to spend and had spent on the Erin Condren planner, but then canceled. So when the cloud restocks, I may get one. I don't know. This is actually pretty awesome for the what limited use I've made of it already, but this is what I'm going to use for memory keeping. So how memory keeping is going to look for me is not going to be the same every week, because I'm not even going to do it every week, I don't think. So I am going to use a combination of weekly and daily inserts for this, for memory keeping and journaling. So I'll go into the binder a little bit in a second. These inserts are from Aurora and Avalon. They are on Etsy. I will link them down below. They are 1 day per page. Double-sided. I really love these inserts. They are sized for the Happy Planner, but that's okay. You can always add in, you can ignore these lines even and just put what you want in there. I like that it's got sort of the daily breakdown and then a spot for journaling. So if it's been just a day that I want to recap, I'll use this. If something happens and I want to, if we have a big week or maybe we go somewhere, I doubt that's going to happen in 2020, but anyway, we can be optimistic. But it's something that I want to memory keep the whole week on. For now, at least, I am going to be using these A5 wide inserts by Planner Pixie Co. I love these. I love how simple they are. They're sized perfectly, especially for her kits, which I am loving at the moment. So I will be using these. So I've got a couple weeks of these printed here, ready to go for when that happens. And I don't know, maybe I will want to do it almost every week, and that's okay. Like, I'll just go with the flow. If the, you know, if the end of the day comes and I think, wow, like there's really, like today was a day I want to remember this, I'll do a daily spread. Like even last week on Thursday, when the whole Erin Condren thing happened, that was a crazy day, and the next day was as well, sort of, you know, figuring out where do we go from here and how do we move on and where do we move on to. You know, that would be the kind of thing that I would do a daily spread for. So obviously these are not A5 wide inserts, these are just standard A5 inserts, but I'm going to use them in conjunction with these. You may see them sort of in between the various weeks, and I'm okay with that. It'll all be sort of mixed in there, and that's okay. At the end of the year, I will remove any inserts that I've used from here, and I will bind them together in some way, put a cover on them and bind them so that I can keep them all together. In terms of the actual planner and what comes with it, I thought I'd do a quick tour of it, if you will, because I know that a lot of people are looking for new ways to plan and may not know where to go, especially if you've been using a 7x9 planner. The Aura style is obviously that cloud is beautiful, like it's so pretty, but it is expensive. So if you are looking for something a little bit more budget friendly, this is a great option. I think I don't know what the price is in US because I'm in Canada, but here it was about $35, I think. So that's like a third of the price of the cloud. And it's pretty similar. I mean, there are obviously a few differences, like this one has the snap on it, but other than that, like they're pretty similar. So they're both A5 wide. This is, I don't know if it's bigger than the cloud is, but I do know that their inserts, like I'll show you these after, they make like daily and weekly inserts for these as well, and they're obviously quite a bit taller than the A5 wide inserts are. So once you open, you've got 3 pockets here and then a larger pocket there. I know a lot of people love to do like the setup videos and stuff. I don't know that I'm one of those people, so I don't know if you'll see tons of setup in here. It may be just random sticker kits that I'm using or want to use. I'm not sure. Then the dividers. It does come with a year's worth of dividers. I just pulled July up here from behind because I'm starting it in July. These have, so they've got important dates, appointments, and birthdays on this side. I had originally thought I would use these because, I mean, they are pretty. They're gold foiled, and I mean, that's lovely. But then I saw the size difference between these and also the fact that these inserts cover the tabs. I don't think I will use these. I'll probably make my own inserts, my own dividers, but I'm not 100% sure yet. But I did want to show you what they look like so that you've got a sense of what is in here. I mean, that's like, it's so pretty. And if it was the right size, I would definitely use it. I wouldn't use this because I would just reuse these dividers for another year. Like, I love these lines here. I think that's so pretty. Then we go to May. I have a couple inserts in there that I don't need to look at. And then June. And then at the back, there is another full pocket here. It's a little bit tighter than the one at the front, but definitely you could store some things in there. So that is going to be my memory keeper for the rest of 2020. I don't know yet what I'm going to do with my EC pages from the first half of the year. I'm going to leave them in there for now. I had planned to uncoil the new one and recoil the first 6 months of it, so the second half of the year, with the first half of this year from the other planner. To make a full 12 months. I'm obviously not doing that anymore because that Erin Condren is no longer on its way to me. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do with that one. I may just leave it. I may uncoil it and combine them with this in some way. We will see. By the way, this color is called Robin's Egg, I think. So it is called the blue one. I find it, I mean, it is blue. I don't know, I don't really have anything that I can compare it to. It's got a bit of a minty green feel to it as well, which is, it's just really pretty. It's kind of a soft color. I'm not always a fan of blues. Like, I don't like baby blues and things like that. And this is not that. Like, this is it's a very, very nice sort of greeny blue color. Really, really pretty. So memory keeping, budgeting, Etsy and the magazine, Catchall, life log, and Chloe's memory keeper. And there are the 6 planners that I am going to be using for the second half of 2020. If you have any questions about any of these planners, please leave them in the comments down below. I'd be happy to share any information that I can about them. If you are changing up your planner lineup for the second half of 2020, either because you were planning to all along or in response to recent events, please let me know what you have decided to go with. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, consider subscribing, and don't forget to check me out over on Instagram and Etsy at A Pretty Planscape. I'll see you all again soon. Bye, friends.